Hey guys, back with another video on Holley carburetor's performance. This is probably more for the advanced guys, DIY guys that wants to do something. You know, maybe I'm not telling you to do it. I'm showing you what I've done. You have to take full responsibility if you do it yourself. But anyway, let me get on with this. This is something, like I say, more advanced people in performance would understand. But this is a 750 throttle plate here. This is a 750 main body. Here's a 600 main body and a 600 throttle plate. Now you can see the difference in the sizes of these. There's a lot of difference. So if you wanted, let's just say, I don't do it to a 600, but I do put a 850 throttle plate on a 750 body. You have to modify it, and it gets. We're going to shoot a video on just that. Because that's probably one of the best modifications you'll ever do to get throttle response and high velocity through your carburetor. But if you did, I'm just giving you this to kind of show you. If you took this 750 throttle plate, it's actually it's a full 1/8 of an inch bigger than the 600. That's a lot of difference in throttle plates. A lot of difference. If you made this one fit this 600, had this block where it sat on here and fit, which you'd have to open up these. The actual part, lower part of the Ventura area, you know, the actual throttle body, I guess you'd call it, because the Ventura is right up here at the smallest part of this carburetor. But if you added this carburetor to this, this throttle plate to this main body, it will give you a ton of extra flow through this area of the Ventura, because you're opening this big plate and it's coming into a taper. It's going to be bigger here when we open it up, and then it's going to come down to this small taper, and the Ventura is going to stay the same size. So it's going to create a lot more velocity. A lot of times when you do this to a carburetor, now, like I said, I haven't done it on 600. I don't recommend you doing it on 600, but I'm using it as just to show you. But it absolutely, sometimes you'll actually, when you put a big throttle plate on a smaller body, you'll actually go down on the jet size. You'll actually be too rich when you use the same jet. A lot of times I've went down 2 or 3, 4 sizes jets to get it to perform like it should, because it'd be a little on the rich side. Now you have to open this up. You could use something like this. Anybody wants to take it in their own hands and do it, you know, you could do something like that with a drill or a Dremel tool or whatever you want to do. I find it better with a sanding disc when I've done it, like these flapper wheels. And open them up until they fit. They're real close to that bore, because if not, the throttle plate's going to bind in here, and you could cause yourself a ton of trouble. You got to make sure this has got plenty of room for this throttle plate to clear it. But when you do this, it absolutely, you'll notice the difference. The throttle response time is just much better. Don't need as much pump. Don't need quite as much jet. Now, you might lose a little bit of top end RPM, but for people who want to run from, 1,000 RPMs to 6,500, you can't hardly beat this. Maybe even 7,000. You just can't beat it. Now, if you go too small in this Ventura size compared to this throttle plate, then you can get into upper RPM starvation. But the combination of the 750 main body like this, with the 850 plate, which I don't have, it's actually a 1/16 of an inch bigger than the 750 throttle plate. And I modified it to fit this. It is a great combination. An 830 main body is bigger than the 750. It's actually the same Ventura size as an 850. It just has the 750 throttle plate. So if you take 830 and you put a 850 plate on it, you got an 850. It's the exact same specs. And what I want y'all to do to understand this, the greater distance, the greater you have up to a point, if you have like a 1/16, or you might even go 1/8 of an inch, possibly in some instances, if you was pulling low RPM, a lot of torque, a lot of quick throttle response. But the main thing is you got to get you a book. Get you a Holley book. And this is a Holley book I've got. It's an older book. It's a 2012. And it's just, you need to get a newer one. But if you can find one of these older ones in this book, it'll tell you the Ventura size. It'll tell you the throttle plate size. All you have to do is get the list number, which I don't know if y'all can see this now.
Let me get a little closer.
But there's the list number. Right across here, guys. It'll say list, and it'll say like 1850 or whatever 600 is. There's several list numbers. Can they see that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then you come to this book and go into this book and just look up that list number. In the very back of this book, it's got list numbers right there. It'll tell you the list. You can follow the list number here and go all the way across, and it'll tell you everything about that carburetor. Everything. It's a Holley Performance Catalog. And
we're going to put a link in the description where they can order their own.
We'll definitely add a link in the subscription. And this is just something, like I say, for the more advanced people that really want to learn something. And you can even look at carburetors in there. Let me give you a quick, for instance. I don't want to talk to you how to make this thing long drawn out, but if you look at an older style 1050, like a 8896, look at the throttle plate and the Ventura size in that book. Then look at a 750 Dominator. They made a 750. The actual Ventura and the throttle plates are identical. In other words, the dimensions are identical. The 750 is the same as the 1050. But what Holley did, they put a skirted booster, a booster that on the bottom of this booster right here, they put, right here, there's the booster. They put a ledge around the booster to slow the airflow down, to make it more so a 750. But as far as the carburetors, they were identical as far as throttle plates, Ventura size, they're identical. The main thing is the jetting is a little different because they cut the airflow down with this booster that skirt. There's a skirt around it that comes out and it just slows the airflow. So in a way, you could probably, I've never done it, but you could probably put the actual booster out of a 1050. If you could put it in the 750, you got a 1050 just that quick. Other than jetting, you'd have to rejet and stuff like that, but it's the basic same thing. So if you go from the 1050 to the 1150, there's a lot of difference. Same size throttle plates, but the Ventura gets bigger, so it has a little bit less signal. The 1050 has it has the same throttle plate, but a smaller Ventura, so you got more difference. The difference between the Ventura width and the throttle plate width is where you get the performance that you need for what you're doing. They're all good. I'm not trying to badmouth 1150 compared to 1050, but if you need throttle response, the 1050 is going to make a better throttle response on the same engine. But there's times when the 1150 is what you need. You got a high compression, high output engine, and it'll use it. It'll have such velocity in through the intake that it'll use it with no problem. But for you guys at circle track racing, if you're running gasoline, that 750, even if you're running alcohol, the 750 with the 850 plate, the older ones, the 4779 carburetor with the 850 throttle plate, man, it's hard to beat. Hard to beat. Well, look, guys, this is it. I just want to go over this with you quick. We're going to make a bunch of these little videos and but get the book. If you get the Holley Performance book, you're going to see it. Just start looking up throttle plate size to Ventura size, and you're going to see what I'm talking about, because there's all different sizes. The more difference there is in the two, the quicker the throttle response is going to be. The more that just got a big Ventura is just going to flow a lot at the top end, but you're going to lose what you get on top end. You're going to usually lose on the bottom end. All right, guys, this is Randy. We'll get back. We're going to be hopefully shooting some more of these videos. And I had a subscriber that did want to know about doing the 750 to the 850 plate, 750 main body, or the 830. I think he had 830 main body. But when he puts 850 plate on there, he's going to have 850 carburetor basically. But we're going to do it. We're going to do it with the 750, and I'll show it with the 850 too. I mean, the 830 going to the 850 plate, and we'll show that to you. We'll show going from a 750 to 850, you have to modify the idle circuit because they're in two different spots, and it's not hard to do. They even make a gasket for it, but that's to come. We'll do this at a later date. So, guys, be safe, and we'll see you later.